What's up everybody, it's Adrian here from IAmJadoreTV, and today I'm literally going to be doing I haven't done it in a while, just an editing tutorial. Now I haven't planned this is literally, I'm just going to edit. This is my process and literally just how when I open up an image into Camera Raw on Photoshop, this is literally just going through my process and how I edit. So this shot here was from my recent trip in Spain, in Nerja. This was in like a creek, so like in like a long hike and up the side of a mountain, lots of water. It was beautiful. I think I have a preview video just before this one if you want to check it out, or be in the link above. But without further ado, we're literally going to get into this editing. So as you can see, I shot with this on the Canon EOS RP. I had the 85mm. If you want to see all the gear that I use, it'll be in the links below, so you want to check that out, see what 85 I used. It's in the description below the video. But yeah, let's get into editing. So I like the shots. I just like how the sun rays was hitting the face, and the light and dark patches, kind of jungly vibe. I really like this shot. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to adjust the color profile. I never leave it on color, to be honest. I either use a landscape or vivid. In this case, I think I'm going to go vivid. That's a bit of a darker tone just to start off with. As you can see the difference between vivid and all the default color, Adobe color. You can see already that's changed the kind of the tonage to the pictures. And also I'm gonna try do here, sort of take down the whites, so it kind of smooths it out a bit, raise up the highlights. Don't know if I want to bring the shadows out too much. I think I'll darken those just to give more emphasis on the highlighted areas. I do up the clarity a bit, it just gives it a bit more clarity there in the highlights. I do like using the dephase as well as the contrast. It just gives it a different type of contrasty look. Just gives it a bit more oomph. You see it as that does that, and then the contrast gives it a bit more. And I think I'll raise the blacks a bit. I don't want it too dark there. But as I've raised the contrast and the dephase, I think I'll put the shadows back up. Now the white balance, I think I'll change that slightly. With Camera Raw, the auto is great. It works kind of really well, in my opinion, unless you want to get a specific tone. But the auto generally does work quite well. And I like to give it a sort of neutral, clean look, because as I will go into further in the next step, when I actually open up the image down here into Photoshop, I'll do more sort of color adjustments. So I like to kind of leave it more a clean temperature that I can work with later on. But I can boost this up just a bit, like so. And yeah, I'm pretty much happy with this so far. Might brighten it up a bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the HSL tab, Hue, Saturation, Luminance, and what I do is I like to change the greens. I kind of like to bring up the greens here, bring down the luminance of it, and then the saturation. Those are kind of green tones that I like in my photos. And color calibration, don't know if I need too much of this. You can change it and you can see how it changes like the tones of the images as well. Sort of play with the, as you can see, like gives it a bit more oomph in the skin. I think I'm happy with that. Let's see. I like that. I'll just decrease it. If you find that the skin tones are changing not the way you want it, that's what the red primary is for. So I'll just change the red primary till it goes back to what her skin color actually looks like. Decrease it a bit. There you go. I'm quite happy with this. We're gonna do this, the split toning sort of thing, in the next step. I won't do it in camera raw. HSL done. Sharpening. I'm gonna show you guys how to do better sharpening than in here. So I'll leave all this section, unless you need no introduction, of course. But the sharpening, I'll show you guys a better trick of how to do that in the video. So we're gonna leave that right there. I think I'm happy with the colors and tones in this bit right here. And if you like what you've done, you can always just go to preset tab right here, and then what you're gonna do, go down, press new preset, and what that does is, I'm not gonna save this one, but you can just create a new preset, have a new group, so you can create a specific style if group of presets, and then you can save exactly what you've just done here. I'm not gonna save this one, but for example, that's how you would save everything you've just done here. And just a quick one, I like to usually brighten up the eyes. So what I do to do that, just zoom in, adjustment brush, and what you do is just literally circle. I'm not doing this as neat as I would, just doing it for the sake of the video, but you can just use the brush there. If you can do the settings I here, exposure, mine's already done like as I would do it, so I just go over the eyes. Then you can just zoom back out, see if it's to your liking. I'm happy I'll do a touch more. That's it. Just give the little eyes a little bit of a pop. So I'm pretty much happy with this so far. So that's what I'm gonna do when I open it up. And there we have it in here in Photoshop. So just as wondering why my background is white, because obviously as a photographer, most photographers are obviously on Instagram. I like to keep it white because that's the background of Instagram, so I'll just see how it looks against the white, just to make your images pop a bit more. Just gives you a little bit of idea instead of just having a black background. So what I'm going to do here, first thing is going to do, as I said, I didn't touch the split toning because I do the color balance in Photoshop here. So what I do is here, just I'm going to give it a warmish tones, and I prefer the color balance here than using the temperature or the split toning in Camera Raw or Lightroom. I just love the tone and texture it gives with the color balance. So what I'm going to do is just give it a nice warm, up the yellow, and you see what that done right there. Instantly, that tone is just something you're not going to get in the Camera Raw or the temperature right there. So you see, if I turn that off and on, that's off. That's with it on. Let me zoom in again, just so you guys can see it. That's on, off, on, off, on. See that toning right there instantly, just gives it that little bit of oomph right there. I'm generally happy with that. I do the highlights as well, but in this case I might not need to. I'll just give a bit of yellow again, a bit more there. See, off, on, off, on, and I'm definitely happy with that. Simple little touch, just to give just a little bit more oomph, a little bit more tone. Just gives it that nice sort of sunset vibes, lighting through the leaves, and it hits right on her face and her eye right there. So what we're gonna do now is skin smoothing. Now this is sort of the separation, the frequency separation. I'll do a separate video on how I do that, and how you can just make it a short hotkey and you can do it in under a minute, literally high grade professional retouching in less than a minute every time, every photo. So stay tuned for that one, and subscribe definitely. I have that one coming up this week. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna hit my shortcut key, and instantly there you go. That whole layer is the frequency separation. All I have to do is click the brush, make sure that the foreground color is white, and I literally just paint on the skin smoothing. But what I almost did forget to tell you guys is, before you do any sort of skin smoothing, remove the blemishes beforehand, otherwise it will come through and it look weird on the model's skin. You don't want that. It'll just make it look patchy, and you don't want it to look patchy when you're trying to skin smooth. So I'm gonna get rid of this, because I almost forgot, and we're gonna zoom in, and we're gonna go to the blemish spot healing tool brush, and we're just gonna get rid of the spots or any little marks or imperfections that will come through. But you can see the quality of this guy. This is the Canon EOS RP, the camera everyone wanted to bash. And I mean, if you check my Instagram of the shoot I just did, I had 7 models in Spain we just come back from. I'm telling you guys, the Canon EOS RP is definitely underrated, but people can keep underrating it, because I literally love this camera. The quality is literally amazing, as you can probably see. I'm just gonna go for a quick, just get rid of anything we can see. Let's zoom out. Just any little thing you can see. I'm just doing this quite quickly for the sake of the video, but you can obviously spend as much time as you want getting rid of any marks that you can see. Zoom in quickly. Right, now that I'm happy with that, just did a quick. Now I'm gonna go back to the shortcut. Happy with that. Now I'm just gonna paint over the skin with my skin smoothing and shortcut key. Once again, I'll have a video of this up this week, so definitely stay tuned for that one. Just gives me that high-end skin retouching. Now with this, a lot of people say don't go over the highlights. I generally just go over it anyway. I just go over it once, and if I need to delete anything, I'll just go back over and erase where it just looks a bit weird, but it generally is fine if you just go over the whole face. I usually go over it once with like a base layer of skin smoothing, and then wherever it needs extra, I'll go over it again with a higher opacity. So there you go. And remember, every part that you can't leave any skin without the skin smoothing. Even if it is in the blurred areas, you can kind of tell when you post the pictures, especially on web, where it comes out the full quality. So you definitely want to paint all over every piece of the skin. Now you're going to do this much neater than I am right now. But I'm just trying to do this quite swiftly. Hand is usually alright. just above the lip. And nearly finished. Okay, so what you want to do now is change the opacity, because that obviously looks too airbrushed. So you want to go down to about 45. And as I said, you can usually go to like a lower level. I'm happy with this here at about 49. What you can do is, if other areas need a bit more, you just press the background layer again, hit your shortcut key or whatever key that you've made it to, and then you can just go over any areas that you need to again. And then you can just bring it down a bit. And wherever you want to erase some bits, I'm going to erase some at the top here. So that's that. So I'm pretty much happy with that, how it is here. And for the last sort of finishing touches, as you do here, as obviously you do both of those, the blemishes and the skin retouching, you do that a lot more precisely than I did. But for the video, I was just trying to not make this a very long video, so I just did it as quickly as possible. But for the last touches, you're going to make the image, as I said before, you're going to add the sharpening. So what you're going to do is Control Alt Shift E, and what that does, that makes a copy of all these previous layers all in one. So that's why you make sure you do this one last, so it includes all the layers that you have prior to doing that. What you're going to do is filter, convert for smart filters. Once it converts, then you want to go to filter, other, high pass. Right there. And what you want to do is, I keep this around 4, or depending on what the picture is, you just want to basically, you want to keep it at where you're just about to see the highlights. So as you can see, the highlights are just about showing. You don't want to go too high, but I leave mine around 4. I think 3.8 is good, but I'll keep it at 4. 4 is good, and then just click OK. And wondering why is it grey, you just go to normal, overlay, and as you can see, if we go in, that's before, after, before and after. You zoom in there. If I zoom into the eye, that's before, after. You can see that, just add that nice sharpness and extra clarity right there. So what you want to do is, you want to, if you don't want it in all of the sharpening in the bokeh areas, it just makes the bokeh look a bit weird. You just want it on the specific areas. You want to press the mask button down here, have obviously layer 1 selected. You want to press Control Delete, and it changed the layer to black. So now it's not, the sharpening's not there at all now. So you want to press the brush, and then what you can do here now is just paint on the areas that you want the sharpening. Make sure your foreground color is white. Now you just want to just paint on the sharpening. In all the areas that you want. I'm just going to do a brief quick brush. Obviously the face, I want in the sharpening. I'm just going to do the body area and mainly the face. These leaves are in focus here, so it'd be a good idea to brush over what's in focus. Again, you probably do this a lot more precisely than I am right now, but yeah, I believe that is nice and done. So now, as you can see here, wherever you've painted over will have the sharpness on. So now we can do before and after again. Before, after, before, after. And then lastly, how I usually save this is I go to File, Export, and I go to Save for Web Legacy, Save for Web Legacy, sorry. And then when I click this, it will just load up the image. I leave the quality on 84 because I believe when you leave it below 84, it kind of saves you from going through the compression of Instagram. So that's like sort of the limit Instagram will allow before it starts to compress it. So I leave it at 84, and you can see the file size is next to nothing. So that's what I usually do. I'll press save, and then it will bring up a box where to save the image. I usually just save it in my Google Drive folder, so I have it access to on all my devices. Plus I can just send the model the link, and whenever I edit, she can get an update automatically, again wherever in the world. So it's a great tool to use. That's why I usually save all my images to. So that's how I usually would. I've already saved this, so I'm not going to save it again right now. But that's literally my process. You definitely want to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. I'm going to have exactly how to make the shortcut for the skin smoothing in coming this week. So you definitely want to like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned. And if you want to see this image and much more from the Spain trip I just come back from, follow my Instagram. It'll be on the screen, it'll be down in the description as well. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.